In these days, it's hard not to think in terms of apocalypse, end of days, climate change coming to raise the waters, the water world. But truthfully, it is a turning point for film because the theaters have been closed for a long time now. And that, of course, is just one of the effects of the virus. The This is the sustainability of the business model for theaters at this point, but that goes along with comedy clubs, music venues, theater venues for live action plays, almost any mass social interaction. But that's only one of the issues we're facing. I mean, we're facing massive divisions in the country. And so to review movies today is almost impossible because there's only certain audiences that you can appeal to. I mean, a lot of the movies and television shows being made today are following an agenda. Obviously, independent films, which we don't see enough of, and frankly, the business model for independent films was terrible for the longest time anyhow. But there is a definite feeling that a political agenda is being pushed by both sides. So when you look at people criticizing a film like Gone with the Wind, Gone with the Wind is of a time and place. The history of mankind is, we can say 6,000 years. 6,000 years has been nothing but war and people fighting and tribes and countries and races trying to gain the upper hand. That's just going to continue. It's not going to stop. It's the idea that we can change the human race and make it we can evolve into being a better form of life on the planet. There is something inherently wrong with the human race. The idea of peace and love that Buddha and this guy called Jesus used to push. I mean, that's the goal. That's the ultimate ideal. Peace and love. Ringo pushes it all the time. John Lennon used to push it all the time. That's the ideal. But that's not actually what's happening. It's just more war. It's just more division. It's just more taking sides. So the idea that you can make a movie for everyone today is almost ridiculous to think. I mean, I guess children's movies are the most likely ones to do that, but and there is stuff being pushed out. There is a certain cynicism and lack of heart of almost everything that's been produced today. Cynicism and hard-heartedness and nihilism are a large part of what people today respond to because they see it as honest. Perhaps it is. And denigrating the past as being silly or misguided. But there are elements to both sides that are worth looking at and worth appreciating and worth understanding. And the most important thing is, of course, all of us just becoming more able to be one people on the planet. That's the goal. But there are so many forgotten people. truthfully, almost everyone is forgotten. So look at the divisions and look at the other side and love your neighbor, turn the other cheek. Those are things that are much harder than they seem. As movies go, there's so much of one kind of thing now, and certain things just dominate now. Of course, I've had enough of comic book movies, of Star Wars, and partly because the fans are toxic, rabid, and all of this kind of toxic troll-like fighting is part of the human race. I mean, it's what makes us who we are. And can we evolve out of that? Well, to a certain degree, you have to have heart. You have to have love. But then there's the issue of how movies are going to change. Are we going to go to the theaters anymore, ever? Or are we just eventually going to become virtual reality viewers in the future? There are so many issues to discuss. Paulo, your life's a movie.